I was always told if I never used one of these, I would get a girl pregnant. My mom drilled it into my head, everyone else did, and of course, when I was younger, didn't think I wanted a baby. I sure as heck didn't want to get married, but now that I am and I want to be a dad, I find it a little bit difficult. But in this video, I'm going to show you some of the things I'm doing to help increase our chances of conceiving with using natural and very easy organic supplements and dieting. Here on Little Joys, I'm Jordan, and let's comes to having a baby, guys, we have it pretty easy. I mean, we just get to have sex. You can't beat that. I mean, now there might be those times where it's late at night, she's ovulating, you just got home from work, and you're just like, oh, I'm so tired. But in retrospect, that's about it for us. But at the same time, too, I think there's a lot of focus when it comes to just infertility going to women. I mean, without us, they don't get a baby. It doesn't matter if it's through sex or if it's through, IVF or any other way. If you don't have sperm, you don't have a baby. Plain and simple. Now, what I do is I like to go all natural. I'm not really big into medications. I'm not really big into any form of anything that can mess with my body in a chemical sense. Now, I know with herbs and everything else, you can sometimes get, some chemical reactions, but I don't like medication. I get a headache, I find something herbal to take. If I have a sickness or a flu, unless it's something that is just 100% like you have to take some form of medication, I typically don't. I get it from my grandmother. She's the exact same way. She's 76 years old and not on one medication. She has no form of ailments, anything. She walks all the time. She's super active. Sometimes you have trouble keeping up with her. And for her age, she looks like she's in her early 60s. About me and as to why I took the more, herbal way in terms of trying to conceive is that when I was younger, my mom told me that they were going to put me on medication that I needed, but it would make me infertile. Now, obviously, as a parent, she had a choice in terms of that, and she chose not to put me on the medication. So once I got older, I wasn't really concerned about having kids at all. I thought, one day I might be a dad, but I really didn't find it too big or too necessary. I thought marriage was kind of BS in a way. I thought kids were just kind of like, if you get them, you get them. If you don't, you don't. But thing is, I was always about using condoms and everything along those lines because I didn't want kids. But then once I got older and I met my beautiful wife and we decided to have kids, I started thinking to myself, what if, I did take that medication, she just doesn't remember it, or what if they gave me something else that messed with me? Because once we started trying, honestly, we thought it was going to be like a boom, 1, 2, we're good, we have kids, we have a baby on the way, all that jazz, we're out the way. But I started thinking, is it me? Is it her? Is it both? Is it something I'm doing? Something I'm not doing? What's happening, And I started doing research on things. I started figuring out ways, what type of supplements I could take, what's safe, what's not safe, what methods we could try. And eventually I came to the conclusion that even if I have a low count, high count, whatever, I could still kind of give my swimmers the best way of, helping my wife conceive. And she went to the gynecologist. The gynecologist then recommended me a fertility doctor to go to. And that story is for a whole nother day. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever went through in my life. I mean, a little small screen and a couch with a sheet on it. I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. But with that, I got my results back. And the average is anywhere between, I believe, 25 to 200 million. And I was at 367 million with strong swimmers. So, I mean, that relieved so much stress off of me that I literally almost brought me to tears because I always thought maybe something was wrong. I was infertile. I couldn't get, my wife pregnant or anything like that. Because in my past, I did have scares where the condom broke or anything along those lines. And those scares resulted in a pregnancy, but it was never my kid. So I was like the second my exes, which I'm not going to get into that. If they're watching, hi. If my exes cheated, they got knocked up. But it was never my kid. So I thought, okay, the second they cheat, she's pregnant. and I still don't have a kid myself, so what's going on? Now, you might be saying, if you have 367 million strong swimmers, why would you even consider going herbal, or why would it even matter if you wanted to go herbal? And I contribute a lot of that, the strong swimmers, maybe even the higher sperm count, to me helping. If you think about it, if you're a bodybuilder or you're into some type of sport, you don't get in peak condition and then just stop, and then once you have an event, then you train. You continuously train, you continuously work out, you want to build, your stamina, you want to keep your endurance up, and that's exactly what I did when it came to all of these herbal supplements, is that I wanted to aid, I wanted to increase the chances, I wanted to make sure we stay at those chances, because stress, I don't drink, but drinking can affect it, smoking can affect it, type of underwear you wear, things along those lines. And like I said, guys, we have it simple, but at the same time, we can help out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover a few of the supplements I take next and show you the benefits of them. And now, granted, I am not a doctor. I don't claim to be. I don't claim to have any form of medical training, experience, things along those lines. These are things I research. I've actually talked to my doctor about a few of them. He said I was doing a good job. But at the same time, you should talk to your doctor about anything you take, whether it's herbal, supplements, anything, because you want to make sure you're at peak condition. So that's just a disclaimer. So if you take something and you shouldn't have, can't blame me. I told you not to do it. So here we go. First up, what I'm going to talk about is Maca Root. Maca Root is great for male infertility and fertility, and female infertility and fertility. We're going to stick with the men, obviously. But with Maca Root, one study was examining the effects of Maca Root supplementation in men for a period of 4 months. At the conclusion of the test period, significant increases in sperm count, motility, and semen volume were observed. Now, before I had my test done, I actually took Maca Root. I took a variety of things I'm going to show you as well, too. And the woman, when she talked to me, she said I had really, really strong swimmers and that there should be no issues. And I kind of attribute some of that to Maca Root. I continue taking it. You're supposed to take it 3 times a day. I actually just take it twice, one in the morning when I'm going to work and I have my breakfast, and then one in the evening at night. There's no form of stimulants in it, so you don't have to worry about it making you jittery or being up at night. And the next one is zinc. Now, with zinc, you typically want to take about 100 to 200 milligrams daily. Of course, with me having a 30 milligram bottle, I have to take a little bit more of it. Relatively small sized pills, but what zinc does, it helps prevent sperm from clumping together or sticking together. Obviously, if your boys are running into each other and stuck together, they can't really do their job if they're supposed to. When I had my test done, the woman said that she found no issues in terms of motility. Like I said, once again, she said they were moving and free-flowing, so she didn't really see any issues of sticking with one another. It also helps in terms of semen volume. The more you can pump out, the better chances you have, basically. Next one up is Horny Goat Weed. Now, there's a lot of talk about Horny Goat Weed in terms of it helps with like impotence and things along those lines. But there's also studies that suggest that it helps with actual semen volume. It contributes a little bit into sperm quality. Of course, I use it more for the sperm. I'm not really concerned about the impotent sex part. But at the same time, of course, the better volume you have, the healthier the sperm are, the more likely you are to help increase your chances. Now, like I said, when it comes to anything I mention, always talk to your doctor, see what they say about it. But the thing is, Horny Goat Weed is a non-stimulant, so you don't have to worry about it keeping you up at night or anything along those lines. It's a great supplement. I just take it once a day. And in terms of bedroom usage, I really don't know if it's helping or not, but I'm not really concerned about that department. Now, with this, it kind of feels like a stimulant to me. I do know a little bit more energy boost from it, not in terms of like you drinking a Red Bull, but I do feel a little bit more of a, I guess, an excited feeling. But it also has to help with like blood flow to erectile tissue, things along those lines. It's no Viagra by any means. But at those times where you do need a little bit of a boost, it seems to help. Now, here's the thing, too. This could all be in my head as well. I'm not 100% sure. There's something called placebo effect. So maybe when I take it, it's just a placebo, but I have no idea. Now, it helps to sustain an erection. Now, when it comes to infertility, like I said, there are times where it's late at night, you got home, you're tired, and you really just aren't in the mood. But obviously, with her ovulating, you got to put yourself in the mood. This seems to kind of help. Just know that once you do take it, you kind of will be awake, at least with my, experience. Some guys say they don't have that issue. But it also helps with just keeping things, flowing. Now, it also helps with women as well in terms of libido. But, if you can't get an erection, you can't make a baby. And the last one I want to talk about is Tribulus or Tribulus. I'm not sure exactly how you say it 100%. With this, it helps to increase the sex hormone in men. Of course, our testosterone helps to increase the production of it. It's no steroid or anything along those lines. It helps keep you at a more natural level. It does also help with sperm count, motility, and overall general health. And it does help decrease the effects of anti-sperm antibodies. So obviously, if you're trying to raise your sperm count, you want to make sure you can get rid of said antibodies. You want to make sure that you have no restrictions, like I said, no stickiness, no anything along those lines. And it also may help treat, not cure, but also may help treat issues with erectile dysfunction. Like I said, I've used a lot of these things. I've always been, since even before we started trying to have a baby, there's all the other effects that, Tribulus, Yohimbe, and Horny Goat Weed, all those, Zinc, and Maca Root help with. But those are the main cues that you want to keep track of when it comes to you actually trying to have a baby. Just some of the things I personally use in terms of helping my wife get pregnant, because I would love to be a dad very soon. It's something that we both have a goal for. February 22nd, my wife is going to be talking to a doctor about possibly taking letrozole. On top of that, she's taking Vitex. She's also taking Maca Root. It's great for female infertility. So hopefully the things that she's doing and that I'm doing will help create our bundle of joy. So if you have any questions for me, I'll answer them down in the comment section below. Always remember, do your own research, talk to your own doctor, see what they say. And besides that, guys, I hope it goes well for you. We have an Instagram account at Little Joy's Blogs. You can chat with us. We answer as many messages as we can. And if fertility works for you all, we also have Little Joys, where we post a lot more. It's more maternity content, but we're trying to integrate more dads and families along those lines. So if you want a free shout out to our 75,000 followers right now, just hit us up in the DM, send as many pictures and videos as you like, and then we'll get back to you. So that's all. If you have any questions, comment below, subscribe to our channel, and hope to hear from you soon. Bye, guys.